And we welcome you back to Denver, Colorado. At the base of the Rocky Mountains at Coors Field, this will be the first game of a three-game series between the Rays and the Rockies. Rain has stopped. Field has been manicured and the infield reset. Meeting at home plate taking place with the exchange of the lineup cards. Going over the ground rules there. Walt Weiss, the manager of the Rockies out there. Tom Foley representing the Rays skipper, Kevin Cash. First of 9 on the road for the Rays. 3 here, 4 in Oakland. And then 2 in LA against the Dodgers before the Rays get back home. That will be against the New York Yankees. Take a look at the starting lineup for the Rays, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Logan Forsythe leads it off again at second base, followed by Kevin Kiermaier up in the second spot in the lineup for the first time this year. Evan Longoria hits third. Brandon Guyer in the cleanup position. Logan Forsythe at first. Steven Souza Jr. in right field. Tim Beckham will get the start at short. Luke Bailey behind the plate, batting ninth here in this interleague matchup. The Rays pitcher, Drew Smyly.
Well, and they'll be facing left-hander Tyler Anderson here for the Colorado Rockies, making his 7th start of the season. The record 1-3, actually picked up that win in his last start. That was against the Philadelphia Phillies, first major league win. Went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits, just 2 earned runs. And he has thrown the ball very well here at the altitude. Let's take a look at the Rocky defense and see how it's going to line up behind them here tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In that outfield left to right, we have Ryan Rayburn, Charlie Blackmon, and Carlos Gonzalez. And across the infield, third to first, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, DJ LeMahieu, and Mark Reynolds with Nick Hundley behind the plate.
Well, down at third base, Nolan Arenado, and as we mentioned, if you were with us at the outset before the delay, 2 of the premier third basemen on display here. Evan Longoria having a great year. Arenado, of course, leading not only this Colorado offense, but when you look at what he's done across the board among the league leaders in home runs and topping the list in runs batted in. Walt Weiss in his 4th season as the manager of the Rockies. This year they are 42 and 49. Still entertaining thoughts of being relevant in any possible run for a postseason spot. Kevin Cash and the Rays just snapping that 8-game losing streak with a victory over the Orioles 5-2 yesterday. And here's Logan Forsythe to get things started against the lefty Tyler Anderson. First pitch of this game is a strike call. So determined by Dan Iassogna calling the balls and strikes. Clint Fagan's at first, Paul Emmel second. Bob Davidson, the umpire, down at third. Inside 1-1.
Well, and what you're looking for from Tyler Anderson, pitchability. He's not overpowering, 6'4", about 210, 215 pounds. That fastball you saw already is going to sit around 90, 91 miles an hour, but he knows what to do with it.
Fly ball back into center. Charlie Blackmon there to make the catch. That's the first out.
Yeah, and that comes off of the cutter. That's a big pitch for Tyler Anderson. He throws the fastball, changeup, cutter, curveball. And like I said, it's all about pitchability and understanding sequences and moving the ball around the zone.
Yeah, he's had a challenge getting to the major leagues because of a number of physical ailments from time to time. But the Rockies are very high on him about the way he approaches pitching and the knowledge that he's accumulated. Just 26 years old.
Well, he missed all of 2015. He had a stress fracture in his elbow. Missed the whole season.
1-1 with Kiermaier.
See how he'll use that cutter almost like a slider. That one a little bit bigger than the one that he threw to Logan Forsythe as he tries to sweep it away from the left-handed hitting Kiermaier.
2-1. You mentioned that elbow fracture. He was on the disabled list in parts of the last 4 years. Back in 13, a shoulder impingement. In 14, and his elbow, a tricep strain as well. That one just missed.
Well, they're looking maybe for Kiermaier on the check swing, but that ball was almost a strike anyway.
Yeah, Kevin not convinced that he went. One out, base is empty. Evan Longoria will be next. Chopper foul.
Well, Tyler Anderson has a very interesting delivery.
Doesn't he?
You know, I mean, it creates some deception, obviously, but that little pause as he goes to his leg kick, that is just, that little pause allows everything to catch up, make sure that everything's in its right spot, the hands out of the glove, and then he proceeds to go to home plate. A little timing mechanism.
And that pitch upstairs, he gives up the walk. Kiermaier heads to first. That brings up Evan Longoria, who's coming off the 2-home run game yesterday against Baltimore to give him 21 on the year. Our Toyota keys to success. Hit a fastball his first time up. But that second one off the D-ring in center field.
Yeah, I mean, the D-ring, impressive enough, but dead center, and he hit it hard.
1-0 the count. One of 3 third basemen in the history of Major League Baseball, reaching 20-plus home runs in 8 of his first 9 seasons, joining Eddie Matthews and Scott Rowland.
Pretty impressive company.
As a third baseman, you do anything, and your name's in the same sentence with Eddie Matthews, or in this case, Scott Rowland, maybe Mike Schmidt. I mean, you've done something. Brooks Robinson. 1-1 the count here on Evan.
You see Tyler Anderson there go with that little modified kind of a quick step with the speed of Kiermaier over there at first base. Opposing base stealers 5 out of 6 against Tyler. Kiermaier may be looking to go.
Upstairs, 2-1. The opposition running against Colorado, 54 steals, 18 caught stealings. Now a move to first, and Kiermaier's back in there. One on, one out, just underway. There's a liner and a base hit into left center field. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. It's deep here. Kiermaier's going to be waved around. Headed to third is Longoria, and the throw will not be in time. Rays take a 1-0 lead. This is a spacious outfield. One of the reasons it's such an offensive ballpark, aside from how high it is here in Denver, is this big, big outfield.
Yeah, what it allows is it allows bloops to fall in because you got to play your outfielders deep. And if this happens right here, look at just a low liner by Evan out over the shift, but it's going to roll for days. So the dimensions here, you can see 415 in center, that ball out into left center. Kiermaier is going to score easily, and Evan Longoria is going to get into third rather easily.
First triple of the year for Evan. And now Brandon Guyer looks at a strike.
Yeah, you saw the 415 in center. Out in left field, you got 347 down the line, out to 390, then to 415. That is huge.
One and one now. And there you go, the right side. 350 right down the line, 375 into the power alleys.
And they've added a little fence out there in right center field.
They have done some alterations out there. Ground ball to third. Arenado comes to the plate and out the call.
We'll see. Cash is already telling Tom Foley, get on the horn and see if Longoria snuck the foot in.
Will the Rays want them to take a look at this or not?
Arenado just with a little flip home. Yeah, got that tag on that right knee before the left foot got to home plate. That's a good call.
So the Rays lose Longoria at the plate. 2 gone on a fielder's choice. Geyer is now aboard at first.
Play clearly, the Rays going on contact. I mean, as soon as that ball was put into play, Evan was charging home, and because it was hit to the corner, Arenado had a play.
Well, Morrison fouls one, strike one. Rays with a run home, 2 outs, and Geyer at first. Oh, 2. Rays facing Tyler Anderson, born in Las Vegas. He's an Oregon Duck. Went to the University of Oregon, drafted in the 2011 draft.
I wonder what their baseball uniforms are like.
And that pitch a little bit in. Anderson was walking off the mound.
Yeah, you don't want to do that 7 starts into your career with Dan Iasanya behind the plate. Now, certainly that was a close pitch. He tried a front door cutter, but let Dan tell you. Watch him right here, just assuming. And by the way, that's another important lesson that we've all learned. Morris Buttermaker taught us about assuming in baseball and why not to do it.
Yep. Good advice. So the foul ball and the count remains 1-2.
Is there a better last name than Buttermaker?
That's one of the top 5, and maybe the best. We'll have to spend time pushing those around.
Would you sneak in Feldman?
Of course.
Every Feldman that you know was a troublemaker. Every last one.
Now the count is 2-2. Kiermaier walked with 1 out. He has scored the run. Tripled home by Longoria, who was cut down at the plate on the ground ball struck by Geyer. Shift on for Morrison. He lifts a fly ball into left. Rayburn waits for this one. Makes the catch. Rays get a run. We go to the bottom of the first. 1-0. lead with a run in the first. The triple driving in the 50th run of the year for Longoria. Let's take a look at the Colorado lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Charlie Blackmon, followed by DJ LeMahieu. Nolan Arenado hits third. Carlos Gonzalez cleanup. Trevor Story, Ryan Rayburn, Mark Reynolds, Nick Hundley, and Tyler Anderson, the pitcher, bats ninth.
And for Drew Smyly, forgetting about the first half and trying to come out here on the right foot in his first start in the second half, because the first half ended very, very poorly for Drew, trying to get back on track.
First pitch, a strike to Blackmon. See his 2-10 record, 0-6 in his last 9 starts.
You think that Charlie Blackmon lives out in the batter's eye?
Yeah, that's a little manicured for him, the batter's eye.
Could be right.
Probably has a pond somewhere. A ball, 2 strikes to count.
There it is. That's flowing right into that pond.
Takes it up, 2-2, hitting .307 for the year, and he's held his own against lefties. He's pushing .270 against left-handed pitching. Not quite there, but he battles you at the top of the lineup here for the Rockies. Holds the count at 2-2.
He was on the disabled list, had turf toe back in April. Has come off and swung the bat. You know, there's a number of guys in this lineup that are swing a very good bat and are hot right now.
And he chases the pitch up and is out on strikes. High fastball gets him.
Well, that's a calling card of Drew Smyly. A lot of these Rays pitchers like that pitch, and Blackmon falls to it. Let's take a look at the Rays defense, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Geyer, Kiermaier, and Souza Jr. And across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Beckham, Forsythe, and Morrison, with Luke Maile behind the plate.
Here's LeMahieu, DJ LeMahieu. Boy, he has been something. Takes a strike. Second in the National League in hitting. He is third in the major leagues in hitting with that .330 average. And the top 3 hitters are all second basemen. How about that? Right back into the screen. Foul. Daniel Murphy up at .350 for Washington. Jose Altuve .346 for Houston. And then LeMahieu at .330 here in Colorado. A ball, 2 strikes. Drew Smyly with a strikeout, ahead in the count to the Rockies' second baseman. Lines it up the right side, fair ball, and that's going to go back to the wall. Down into the corner, LeMahieu will stop at second with his 22nd double.
Well, DJ LeMahieu, a very good contact hitter. You already talked about the average, what he's been able to do with that. And he just takes this pitch that's up and away and takes it the other way. That's what he does very, very well. Sprays line drives, uses the whole field, and gets this one into the corner.
Well, here is Arenado. 71 runs batted in, topping the National League, and hitting .353 with men in scoring position. And he's had a lot of those with Blackmon and LeMahieu hitting in front of him.
You know, we're just coming out of the All-Star break, and since the beginning of 2015, this guy has 201 runs batted in. I mean, he had 130 last year. That led all of Major League Baseball. He is just the premier run producer right now in the game.
Shot to center field. Kiermaier still going back. He's going to have room. He'll make the catch. And LeMahieu goes back to second.
Yeah, I thought for sure, as deep as that was hit, LeMahieu tag up. Now, I know Kevin Kiermaier's got a good arm, but he's almost in the next county when he catches this fly ball. And LeMahieu got himself caught off the bag out there and was not able to advance. It wasn't even like Kiermaier had put himself into good throwing position either.
We have already seen how spacious this ballpark is, and we're only in the bottom of the first.
Of game one.
Here's Carlos Gonzalez. Pitch is down. Gonzalez, 30 years old, drove in 97 runs last year. Sixth in the league in hitting right now. Two and 0. Two outs, a runner at second. Ground ball, base hit into right. LeMahieu will score. Gonzalez will head to second, and he is safe. He winds up at second with a double, driving in LeMahieu.
Yeah, that's the other thing, Dwayne. Another example of the spacious outfield. And so that's just a ground ball between first and second, outside of the reach of Logan Morrison. He actually hit it pretty hard, so it's going to get out to Souza Jr. pretty quick. But look at Carlos Gonzalez. He had to move over to his left. He reads that running up the first base line and immediately turns on the jets and able to sneak into second base in scoring position. I'll tell you what, defensive positioning is going to be something that we're going to keep our eye on for the next 3 days. It's going to be of the utmost importance.
Yeah, it's almost everything here. Here's Trevor Story, the rookie shortstop. What a start he got off to. Pitch inside. 21 home runs. He's tied for fifth in that department. Hit 10 home runs and was the Rookie of the Month in April. 10 homers and 20 runs batted in. Pretty good start. Hot shot, base hit into left. Guyer with the pickup. Gonzalez advances to third and holds there.
Yeah, I think Carlos Gonzalez, there's two outs, so he's got to be running on contact, but that line drive out in front of him, that forced him to hold up. And now you're only able to get over to third base on a base hit. My story. Let's see exactly how close this was. Yeah, he's got to hold up there. He'd run right into that line drive. The inning would be over, and he'd have a pretty nasty bruise to deal with. So actually the positioning of the line drive probably kept the Rockies from scoring another run.
Well, that's the first note we'll make of positioning then. And here's Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn with 8 home runs, hitting .242. First pitch wide. Rays with a run in the first. The Rockies with a run in the first and 2 men aboard. This one down. A nice stop by Maile. That's another feature of this ballpark with a runner at third. From the plate to the backstop, to the base of the stands, is not quite 50 feet. So that's a short distance for that. And if you're going to break down the line from third, you'd better do it right away.
Yeah, you have to get a good secondary lead because of the distance and the fact that balls will bounce off that wall too. I mean, that's a solid wall. There's no nooks and crannies. And so you bounce right back to the catcher and you get a play. See how it's set up.
Two on the count. In on him, and he fouls it back out of play. The 18th start of the year for Drew Smyly. Cutting a foul ball back.
Not cutting down on that swing at all. That fastball, a little bit of elevation to it. Rayburn went after it very aggressively. That brings Maile out there to talk about how they want to finish off the right-handed hitting hitter. You got to figure with Drew Smyly, the elevated fastball is going to be a huge pitch for him today against a lineup that has never seen him. Very deceptive pitch.
Now the runner breaks from first. Throw will go through. And remaining at third is Gonzalez. The count on Rayburn goes out to 3-2. And Story picks up steal number 6.
Well, they really didn't have a chance to get Trevor Story there. A few of these Rockies will run. Story one of them, but they just had too good of a jump. And I'll tell you, a little screen there too on Logan Forsythe, able to come up with that ball, keep his body in front of it.
Now the 3-2. And a shot down to third. Great pickup there by Evan. He's got a lot of time and makes the throw to first. Great stop by Longoria, especially with 2 men in scoring position down the line. We're at the end of an inning from Denver. A tie game, 1-1. Out of the second, get a raised backpack presented by Sagicor Life Insurance Company. All kids 14 and under receive the backpack while supplies last when The Rays take on the Yankees Sunday, July 31st. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Tyler Anderson on the mound for Colorado. Steven Souza Jr. leading off the second inning. First pitch is a strike.
I think that's set up too by Tyler Anderson when he gets ready to deliver towards home plate. Initial setup looks like he's going to throw it into the Rays dugout. Eyeballing him.
Who are you looking at? 1-1 to count to Souza Jr.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's taking a peek over. He's telling the guy on deck, you're next.
Souza breaks his bat as he fouls that one up the first base side.
Well, you could hear that
stands.
You could hear that snap. And Dwayne, the fans tonight have come to play. I've already seen a couple of nice catches. Bring the glove. Comes in handy.
Yeah, that's got to be the president of Charlie Blackmon's fan club right there.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Foul out of play. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you know, they had to. They got here on time. A little rain delay.
Yep.
So by the time the game got underway, they are ready to play.
They're sharp. The delay didn't bother them.
Two and two. Souza Jr., then Beckham and Mahle. There's another broken bat and a line drive down to third. Barrel of the bat wound up by the shortstop, Trevor Story, while Arenado made the catch on Souza Jr.'s line drive.
And he may want to go back to his bat company and talk about this. Watch this thing go into pieces. 3, 4 of them. There was stuff flying all over the place like shrapnel. That thing just takes off, and Arenado's got to track that ball down.
He's starting a 9-game road trip. He's already down 2 bats.
Yeah, may have to call in the reinforcements. Send someone to the Trop.
Tim Beckham takes a strike. Beckham getting the start at shortstop. He has not been in a game in 11 days. 0-2.
Boy, tough to stay sharp. You're talking about 11 days off of facing major league pitching and then stepping back in there. That's not easy.
A little piece of that fastball foul. Now Beckham getting his 12th start at shortstop. He's made 12 starts at second and a couple over at third. And not a lot of action lately. Brad Miller, he's been on that home run tear. Chopped to Story at short. Beckham is out of there. And Miller gets a night off against the left-hander Anderson, with Miller now with 15 home runs. Number 15 coming in the Orioles series yesterday when the Rays hit 4 home runs en route to that 5-2 win. And here's Luke Mahle. 2 outs with the bases empty. Strike one.
Well, Luke Mahle, I think, wanted to get his first home run here at Coors Field. That was a huge, huge swing. You know, we talk often about setting up lineups, trying to, manipulate them a little bit. Don't forget it.
Ground ball short. Stories throws in time, and it's a 1-2-3 second, and a game tied at 1. From $2 Kids Day to $2 Dogs, senior special to student rush, Rays have something for everyone every night of the week. Check out the great specials at RaysBaseball.com/specials or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Run 3 hits against Drew Smiley in the first. We got out of that, leaving a couple men in scoring position, and so it will be Mark Reynolds, Nick Hundley, and then Tyler Anderson due up in the second. Reynolds takes it high. Reynolds spent last year with the Cardinals. Hit .230 there, 13 home runs. He's been a big strikeout guy. And here hitting .275. 9 home runs so far. There's a cut and a miss. 2-1.
Boy, used to seeing that swing. He played for the Orioles for all those years. The Rays know him very, very well, and he's been, for the most part over the course of his career, a do-or-die type of swinger.
Ground ball, and that's going to go through into center. Reynolds is aboard. That's 4 hits.
And some ground balls here hit very hard. You see the setup where Beckham's at. That ball just roped right up the middle. No chance to get to that. Leadoff man aboard.
Nick Hundley. That's a strike. Rays set the infield at double play depth. Reynolds, where the sun is right now, if you're Morrison or Reynolds over at first, you could have a difficult time seeing much.
And Logan's got the shades on. Reynolds has nothing. In fact, that previous pitch, he had his hands up over the bill of his helmet, trying to shield. That'll keep your lead close.
Eric Young, the first base coach, might want to lend him his shades.
No kidding.
Little tapper that will roll foul. And Smiley eventually picks it up.
Yeah, that's the key with those little ground balls like that is you get over there and hover, and the moment that that thing comes off the line, snatch it up.
In fact, that there was a beat or two there where you were looking for somebody to do exactly that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe kind of peeled off, and Smiley was there just kind of watching it roll.
You don't want to give it an opportunity to hit something and end up coming back fair. I mean, the moment that thing is foul, swipe it, kick it, whatever you got to do, get it out of there.
1-2 now, the count to Hundley. Upstairs, 2-2. But a tough run for Drew Smiley. Looking to change his fortunes around this time out. Ground ball. Beckham. Forsythe 1. First base 2. He gets the double play ball. 6-4-3. So the Rays get that ground ball, and Smiley, really a fly ball guy, and more so this year than even in the past, but gets a big ground ball here.
Yeah, and this is his 6th ground into a double play. You couldn't have drawn that up any better. Where the ball was hit, who hit it, you get the catcher. Nice little turn for the middle infielders, and 2 for the price of 1.
Now the pitcher, Tyler Anderson, takes a strike. Anderson with a couple hits, 2 for 12, including a home run. 0-2. Rays and the Rockies in interleague play. This is series number 6 between these two teams. And number 5 here at Coors Field. That's a little lopsided. Foul ball straight back. In their interleague matchups, the Rockies' only visit to Tropicana Field was back in 2004 when the Rays won all 3 of those games. Everything else has been out here.
Yeah, well, after that series, they just had refused to go back to Tropicana Field. What's the point? You don't win there.
There's a ground ball to the right side. Forsythe will handle that one. So the Rockies are out in the 2nd. We go to the 3rd, tied at 1.
All tied at 1. Great to see Steve Pearce back in the Rays dugout. The Rays are anticipating activating him for tomorrow's game. May not start tomorrow, but should be in there on Wednesday in the lineup. Guys, if you remember, this happened almost 1 month ago in Cleveland. That right hamstring grabbed on him on June 20th, and he would have to leave that game and then be put on the DL a couple days later. So he has taken a couple of games down at Charlotte Stone Crabs and ended up playing 2 games for them at the Class A level. And as you can see, expected to be activated tomorrow from the DL. Not only is he a big presence on the field, at the plate obviously, but what he brings to the clubhouse, guys, Rays have only won 4 games while he's been on the DL. There's been a lot of other factors, but getting him back is a big part of this team.
Yeah, you're right about that. They've certainly missed him. And they had a keen appreciation for what he could do when he played against them with Baltimore. And he has not been in any way a disappointment. He's been a major plus here. Here's Drew Smiley leading off the inning. Taking the pitch for a strike. Been a while since Drew's been up there in a game.
We talked about Beckham 11 days. Drew, a couple of years.
1-1. Interesting watching Blake Snell in the batting cage today before the game.
Yes, it was.
He'll be on the mound tomorrow, and he'll be in there for real. You might not want to miss that. Ground ball and a backhand pick by Arenado. The throw bounces in and scooped by Reynolds over there. Well, Smiley gave Arenado a challenge down there at third.
He did. That ball was slapped the other way, and I think that Arenado threw that ball low over there to Reynolds because of that glare we talked about early. He just turned around and flips this thing. It wasn't a real easy scoop either. Probably would have liked to have bounced that a little shorter than that.
So that's the first out.
He's like, but I have glasses on now. I don't need that.
Yeah.
I don't need the added degree of difficulty.
Logan Forsythe taking the pitch up. Back into the top of the screen. Puts him behind 1-2. No, we mentioned the Rays snapping their 8-game losing streak yesterday. They have a 10-game road losing streak.
Yeah, enough with these bad streaks. Time to turn some things around.
Forsythe out on strikes.
Well, able to sneak that fastball by him up in the zone, and not known for being a real big strikeout pitcher, but Tyler Anderson comes into this start almost a strikeout an inning. He had 32 in 35 2/3, picks up another one there.
And he hasn't walked many either.
No, and that's what made that walk to Kiermaier so, well, uncharacteristic. By the way, he scored. Walks have a tendency to do that.
Here's Kiermaier again, taking a strike this time.
There's the slugger.
Yep, there he is. He actually did hit a ball to the outfield.
We saw it. We cheered it.
Yes, we did.
Hey guys, we asked him about the bat he was using in the game tomorrow. If he had any specs on it, if he wanted a certain weight or length, and he said, no, I just wanted a bat that said Blake Snell.
2-1 now. Well, he's over there next to Oswaldo Arcia, talking a little power hitting maybe. 3-1 the count on Kiermaier. Or maybe not. He'll make the start tomorrow against Tyler Chatwood. How about that? Second straight walk drawn by Kiermaier.
Yeah, and he had 6 on the season coming in. And in fact, 4 of the 6 for him have come like the 3rd time through the lineup. First and second time through, he doesn't walk anybody. And here, Kiermaier.
So a ground out and a strikeout ahead of the walk. And it gets Evan Longoria to the plate with a runner aboard. And the first pitch is a strike. And Anderson, with that little pause, had Kiermaier headed back to the bag at first when he made that delivery.
Kevin Kiermaier, and there was a quick delivery there by Anderson, but Kiermaier is still learning the intricacies of becoming a base stealer. You know, with his speed and his explosion, you figure he's a guy that when he gets out there on first base, most of the time you've got to be thinking about sending him or him thinking about going, but there's more that goes into it than just pure foot speed.
He was headed back to the bag again.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's the one, and that's why you go on first movement. We've seen Anderson come with the slide step. That was more traditional leg kick, but you go up and you're trying to get that read, and you've got Kiermaier headed back to the bag. Mission accomplished for Anderson in controlling the running game. Although a ground ball to the outfield, he's already in scoring position. He doesn't have to worry about stealing
right.
second.
That's what happened in the first. A little popper, that's going to be handled by LeMahieu on the shortstop side of the bag, a few steps into the outfield. 1-1 ball game, mid-3. Geico, great moment. On this day in 2008, Ben Zobrist, 7th inning, 2-run home run, turned out to be the game winner as James Shields outdueled A.J. Burnett, and the Rays beat Toronto 2-1. Here in Denver, Rays and the Rockies tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 3rd. We've seen a number of Rays hats and jerseys out here making the trip. Top of the order for Colorado, Charlie Blackmon. First pitch is a strike. Two. Breaking ball there.
Yeah, off-speed pitch, but the swing from Charlie Blackmon looked like he still had the weighted donut on that bat. I mean, that was slow and long, Maybe just trying to slow things down, recognizing the off speed.
And there's a little chip shot into left. Base hit, Geyer with the pickup. So he comes back with that and picks up the 5th Colorado hit.
That'll drive you nuts. You know, Charlie Blackmon has not had a good swing off Drew Smyly tonight in his 2 at-bats. And all of a sudden, he does this. Just stick the bat out there. Again, it's another example of cutting down a 2-strike approach and just trying to put the ball in play and see what happens.
Here's LeMahieu, who scored the run after he doubled in the first. And the bunt, that's going to roll foul, picked up by Evan Longoria. Rays in at 35 and 56 now. They have struggled through their worst stretch in franchise history. Slowly getting a few pieces back. Kiermaier, one of them. Smyly with a toss to first on Blackmon. And Blackmon will run. He's 10 of 14. Colorado not a big running team. It's 1-1. Rockies got LeMahieu few years back from the Cubs. A shot down the left side. It's going to be a foul ball, and what a catch right there. He had it played perfectly.
I'm telling you, they've come to play. Forget it. You know, we've seen the baseball gloves early. Now the bare hands.
Really like the shorts too.
They go with the sleeve.
There you go. It's a great catch down there.
Yeah, the sleeve was a great catch. There's no question.
I tend to agree with you. Blackmon back in at first. Toward center field, caught by Kiermaier. They're going to get a double play. Throw back to first, and they double up Blackmon. Kiermaier charging that liner. Boy, that ball was right there in his midsection.
He's hurt.
And
that did get him right. That line drive just would not come down, and it hit Kiermaier right in that torso, Dwayne, like you're just talking about. Heck of a play.
yes, it was. Well, that line drive caught him, and he held on.
Oh, that hit him before the glove.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Did he call backboard? You got to call those.
How about that? Well, I'm glad he can smile about it. That was a hard hit line drive by LeMahieu. And Kiermaier turns it into a double play. Take another look.
Oh. I mean, that hurts just to watch.
This one into right center field. Arenado is on, and over to cut it off is Souza Jr. So they hold Arenado to a single. Boy, that's the thing. If you're an outfielder, you have to quickly become aware of here. You have to get over there and cut it off.
Yeah, any waiting. We already saw it with Carlos Gonzalez, and it wasn't that it was waiting. It's just that Souza Jr. had to move for it. And you see right there, he's well aware of that as he backhands and throws that ball on the run just to get it back in.
Here's Gonzalez again. Doubled in the run in the first. Big cut and a miss on the breaking ball. The double for Gonzalez in the first, his 20th of the year. Has 19 home runs. A couple triples tossed in there as well. Count 1-1. Lifted out of play. So 50 pitches to this point. 2 outs and a runner on here in the bottom of the third. 50 pitches for Drew Smyly. Rays got a run in the first. The Rockies got a run in the first. Runner goes, pitch is high, throw down, up a bit, and a steal. Arenado's in with his second stolen base of the year.
Arenado got that one easily too. That's the second steal for the Rockies, and both of them have really not been contested.
So a man in scoring position for Gonzalez with a count 2-2. Swing and a miss. Gonzalez out on strikes. A man left. We're through 3. Tied 1-1. Rays will have Geyer, Morrison, and Souza Jr. due up. Tonight's Buick GMC big matchup. Geyer hitting cleanup against the lefty, and here is the reason why. The matchups against left-handed pitching, Ian Desmond topping the American League, Maben, Andrus, and then Geyer.
Pretty impressive little list right there with some robust batting averages.
And a beautiful sky here. Our director Gary Nicholas painting the pictures the way he always does. Brandon Geyer takes the pitch down, 1-0. Conversation here. Geyer and the plate umpire, and Kevin Cash. I guess there's some concern about whether that pitch may have hit him. What do you think? Let's take a look at this and see.
That's what they're saying.
And so Kevin Cash says, well, take a look.
They're going to probably need a better angle than what we just saw, because that's not going to do anything. This is going to be a tough one here. They're going to have to see that, hit the bottom of his baseball pants.
Geyer has been hit 20 times. He leads the major leagues in that department. And so the Rays and Geyer apparently thinking he was hit. And Sonia not altogether sure about that, and so they're going to take a look.
Yeah.
Oh, it hit him.
Yep. You'll see that. You'll see that that pant leg right there. Pretty clear.
So they're going to put him at first base. Hit by a pitch for the 21st time. Rays get a base runner.
That's the one time that the long pants with no elastic come in handy. Rocco Baldelli, you see him behind there, he's not getting hit by that pitch.
And there have been times when we see Geyer, not go that way. And he wouldn't have been hit either. But the long pants paying off.
Yes.
We owe that one to George Hendrick. Here's Logan Morrison. Over to first. Now he's going to try to pick him off. And he just got back in there. Clint Fagan on the call.
No, he's got that. When he goes with the regular leg kick, he still has that hitch. And that hitch allows him to get some timing, and then all of a sudden he can explode over towards first base. And if you get a guy leaning, he's going to get you. That's a short lead.
There's ball one to Morrison.
A short lead. First of all, Brandon Geyer is not even with the bag. He's a little behind it. He's short, and he was leaning back towards first base, making sure he's not going to get picked off.
Well, we saw the time Kiermaier had over there trying to read him. Hot shot foul. One and one. Morrison against the left-hander Anderson. 1-2. Six-year-old left-hander making his 7th start of the year. 2-2. Time granted. Anderson about set to go into his delivery there. Morrison granted time. Too tight. The count runs full. Rays got a run and a hit. That was the Longoria triple in the first. And a base runner on a walk in the third. Now a hit by pitch in the fourth. Ground ball. Could be two. Out at second and safe at first. The bobble cost him the double play.
Boy, it certainly did, because that was tailor-made. But Logan Morrison, you got to give him credit for getting down the line and hustling. That right here, that's all it takes. By the time you find it, it's too late.
So Morrison becomes the runner at first. Steven Souza Jr., who broke his bat, lost 2 bats in his first trip to the plate tonight. Up there with a new one now. Lifts a high fly ball into right. Gonzalez takes care of it. So 2 gone. And Tim Beckham, who grounded out his first time. Beckham with 3 home runs. We have seen occasional power. Oh, Morrison somehow got back in. It certainly appeared that they had picked them off, and Anderson went over there and walked almost to the first base line after this pickoff attempt.
Well, you see the tag being applied there by Mark Reynolds all the way to that left arm. That's why you go so far away. Make that tag have to come a long way. He got the right arm out of the way, got the left arm to the bag before he got popped there by Reynolds. So good call. Great slide. Maybe not a slide, maybe more of a flop. Either way, it was good.
Bouncer foul. Yeah, it was almost while he was going to the back of the bag with his left arm. He was kind of showing him the right arm. He took it away and got the left arm, that left hand in there on the outfield side of the bag.
We've seen that more recently, how guys, when they're sliding, trying to avoid tags because of the new tag rule. I mean, there's no more neighborhood. You've got to get that tag on them. So guys will make themselves as small as they can.
Backhanded, Arenado over to first. Beckham is out. Rays leave a man, bottom of the fourth, on its way, 1-1.
runs scored. Drew Smiley back on the mound for the bottom half of the 4th inning. We have a family here from Tampa, guys, and you mentioned there's a lot of Rays fans here at Coors Field in Denver. This family is going to make all 30 Major League Baseball parks. This one's number 29. We have Daniel, Joe, and Lynn Trujillo. Joe, tell us a little bit about how this all started.
Well, it started back when Daniel was 6 years old. We've always been huge baseball fans, and we got the opportunity. It all started with the Rays, of course, in the Trop when he was a kid, and every year we try to do as many ballparks as we can, and here we are nearing the end of our journey. Right after this, we're off to Seattle, and the trek will be complete.
They're going to go to the game at Safeco Field in Seattle Wednesday. That'll be 30 out of 30. And when he was 6, Daniel started this trek. Now he's graduated from USF. What are some of the highlights along the way? You've seen the Rays at a lot of different road stadiums, right?
Yeah, and the Rays always seem to win on the road whenever we're there, which is awesome. But it's just been so cool because baseball has always been a part of my life, and I've also gotten to see so many of the great places in this country at the same time that I wouldn't have gotten the chance to otherwise. So it's been awesome, the whole ride.
Len, we're going to let you have a word. What has it meant to your family to have this kind of baseball bond?
Oh, we just love it. We've had so much fun. We've got to see and go to a lot of different ballparks, have a lot of fun, great experiences every place along the way, and see some things that in places we wouldn't normally go to because we're heading out for baseball. So
29 out of 30. Fly to Seattle tomorrow. Wednesday night, Safeco Field wraps it up. From the time he was 6, and now as a college graduate, he has seen every Major League park. What a family, a baseball family that met on a baseball field, and they've continued this baseball odyssey, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, you're right. What a family, and what an accomplishment. That's just great. And the fact that they show up on the road and the Rays tend to win, boy, they could have a future just in following the Rays around. I mean, that would be...
Wouldn't you carry him around if
yeah,
we're winning
absolutely.
the vast majority?
I think it's something that they should consider.
Put him on the payroll.
Joe and Lynn out there and their son Dan. What fun to do that. That's ball 4. Trevor Story walks to open the 4th inning. So Drew Smiley, who surrendered 6 hits, now gives up his first walk.
And that's the one thing that you really have to try, and obviously Drew didn't want to walk him, I get it, but you've really got to avoid that in a stadium, in a ballpark like this. Try to limit the walks as best you can. You do not need extra base runners here, especially to lead off an inning.
Ryan Rayburn. Yeah, no, leadoff walks, you just saw Jim Hickey's face there. 1-0. And really in any ballpark you're in, but as you point out, especially in one like this that so favors the hitter, you just cannot give them any edge that they don't earn themselves. Want to know the count? He's behind 2-0 on Rayburn. Luke Maile heads out to the mound. Well, game 2 tomorrow, and here's what's coming up on Rays Live, the pregame show, presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. The young, tall lefty Blake Snell on the mound for the Rays tomorrow, and we've highlighted the start that Trevor Story had this year and the season he's had. Orestes Estrada will break down Trevor Story, the Rockies shortstop. Now it's 3-0 to Rayburn. Rayburn went 3-2 his first time up and hit a shot to third. Longoria made a great play on it. That's a strike. 3-1. Reynolds on deck. first two men are on, well, you certainly, if you walk one man, you don't want to walk the next guy. And 2 bases on balls, and Jim Hickey heads to the mound.
Yeah, that is, well, that's brings the pitching coach out there to talk to him, try to get him back on track, get him back in the zone. Hard enough to pitch here when you're throwing strikes and you're hitting your spots, let alone 2 walks. Well, the one thing that Jim Hickey does, though, in these situations, as bad as this inning has started, these meetings he keeps positive. You know, infusing everybody with, this is how we're going to get out of this. You know, and it immediately, you know, gets people thinking about, you know, not what just happened and the woe is me, but hey, we're going to get out of it. This is how we're going to do it.
Well, Mark Reynolds will be the hitter. Reynolds singled into center his first time. And he takes a ball, that one low. Reynolds hitting a little over 300 here at Coors Field. Two and nothing.
Yeah, he's just having trouble finding the plate now. It's not even a matter of quality strikes, it's just strikes. First changeup was bounced, that fastball was yanked in. This is a huge pitch. Huge pitch.
2-0, 2 on, nobody out. Foul back. Morrison's after it, but it's going to be out of play. Well, 2-1 now. Smiley trying to work his way around 2 leadoff walks. Now it's 3-1. On deck is Nick Hundley, the catcher. Liner into center, one hop, grabbed by Kiermaier. Story's going to try to score the throw offline. It's 2-1. Story scores the go-ahead run. Rayburn winds up at third. Reynolds wrapped the base hit to center, picking up his 40th run batted in.
Well, they're going to challenge Kiermaier. Kiermaier's going to make a strong throw to the plate, but he's also going to get it airborne. And once it gets airborne, that's why Rayburn is able to walk into third. There's the line drive, and he's going for it. But boy, Rayburn right there reads the throw high. He's able to get to third, and Story scores the run.
So the walk has hurt him. The second walk is now at third. Reynolds at first, nobody out. And Nick Hundley, the catcher, who grounded into a double play his first time up there, fouls this one. So the Rays are down 2-1. A double play ground ball this time would make it 3-1. Oh, 2. Hundley not happy.
He's like, I've been sitting back here all night catching those, and that's never been a strike. In fact, the last time there was a pitch in that general area, we got a hit by pitch. Geyer went to first. They're calling it a strike on me. Well, Rays need it. 0-2. You need a strikeout here.
Takes it up, 1-2. It's covered up by Maile.
That was picture perfect. You know, he got his glove around. He covered up all the holes. Watch him lean over the baseball. Lean over the baseball so you can knock it down and keep it close and in front. That is just tremendous job right there by Luke Maile.
2-2 to Hundley. Time called. Hundley came into the game hitting .252, and a big part of that against lefties, hitting over .300 against left-handed pitching. Pops it up. Will it stay in play? Morrison near the stands, out of reach. Count holds, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 32-year-old catcher. The fly ball into center. Kiermaier going back to make the catch. The tag at third. Run will score. And getting back to first base is Reynolds. Rayburn crosses the plate. It's 3-1. Hundley's fly ball picks up another run.
That's a case where Drew Smyly looking for the strikeout, and instead Hundley's able to get to that baseball, get it deep into center field to drive home the run. They may try to appeal this. No, they won't.
And here's Anderson. Takes the pitch for a strike. He's shortened on the bat.
And what Evan Longoria was doing was giving Drew Smyly directives. Obviously with the pitcher up here, you know the bunt is likely.
And a bunt attempt fouled.
Kind of jab at that pitch. Anytime you're squared around and you start to jab with that bat, a lot of times that bunt is not going to be put down. You almost use that bat, you turn around, you square around. A lot of times they teach you too, you have that bat right at the top of the strike zone, you know, so anything above that bat you let go. Anything below you used your knees and you tried to catch the baseball with the bat. Angle it, however, whatever direction you want to bunt it in.
Now he pulls it back, ground ball short. Beckham Forsythe won, and no throw to first.
Logan Morrison couldn't get back to the bag. When the bat was pulled back by Anderson, I'd like to see where Logan Morrison was, because as he swung the bat, that was an inning-ending double play right there. Here comes Morrison, but they swing, and then Morrison realizes, uh-oh, I better get back to the bag, and Forsythe wisely doesn't throw it because he wasn't there. Got caught too far in.
So it's 3-1, 2 gone in the inning. Anderson, the runner, and what turns out to be a fielder's choice. Top of the order, Blackman. The breaking ball misses. Blackman singled to the opposite field at an 0-2 pitch. Chipped it into left. Now 2-0. Well, with the exception of Anderson, Smiley has missed early in the count on every hitter in this inning.
Yeah, and they haven't been very close misses. You could see him trying to make the adjustment, and he's just not been able to consistently. You know, he misses arm side. It stays either way away from the righty or way in on the lefty, and then you'll see him try to make that adjustment and all of a sudden yank one to the other side of the plate, not finding that happy medium and running that pitch count up pretty quick now.
See 28 pitches here in this inning.
They're working very, very hard, and at altitude adds a little bit to the degree of difficulty.
Two. Blackmon with his third plate appearance. We're in the fourth.
Another member of the fan club.
Yes, he is.
Oh, look at that. They're in the mile high row, baby.
Yep, that purple row up there means it's absolutely exactly 1 mile high. Still 2-2. There it is.
I can't believe we haven't had a hit from Todd from the purple row.
You know, I'm wondering, I'm thinking about one of the times we were here before when Todd went up to the mile high row. Did he go? Yes, he did. Bob Davidson says Blackmon offered. He's out on strikes. And he threw a balk into boot. 2-run score at the end of 4, 3-1 Rockies. Hit in the fifth. Rays will be switching their cleats to cowboy boots for the Hunter Hayes postgame concert Saturday, July 30th. And for that night only, Budweiser and Bud Light 20-ounce beers will be only $5. For tickets to see the Rays and the Yankees and the concert by Hunter Hayes following the game, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up at Saturday, July 30th. Pack a lot into a Saturday night right there.
That's the night to do it, though. You're going to jam in a lot. Do it on a Saturday.
Yep. That's what we plan on doing.
Oh, I try to do it Tuesday through Saturday.
Do a pretty good job. Luke Maile leads it off, and the pitch is a strike. Maile, Smiley, and Forsythe do.
What exactly are you saying?
Just saying that you're impressive. That's a strike on the outside corner. 0-2. Talking about pitching here.
Yeah.
What did you find the biggest adjustment, the biggest challenge you had to make here?
Well, it was just pick the right bag to back up. I was doing that quite a bit. No, listen, we came in here. We came in here, and our pitching coach, Mark Connor, our first trip in when I was with the Diamondbacks, and you can see this right across the board, the home runs, the runs a game. Look at the average.
Yeah.
Average 300.
That's since 95.
Yes.
Since they rolled into this great ballpark.
That's exactly right. And I remember coming out here and he said, now listen, guys, here's the deal. The breaking ball, your curveball, it's not going to break the same as it does at sea level. Don't freak out. That's just the nature of the thin air and on and on and on. And I was like, well, that's great because mine doesn't break at sea level. So I'm just going to be doing the same thing. It spins and it kind of just stays there. You hope guys swing underneath it. But really it was, and it was tough back then because that's when they had the Blake Street Bombers and you're pitching against Galarraga and, they just one after the other, these sluggers.
That ball is going to be caught by Rayburn in left, and Smiley is the second out in the top of the fifth.
But really the only adjustment, and it really wasn't even an adjustment, you just really had to be spot on with your command, especially if you're me. I had a tendency to give up home runs anyway because I like to attack guys and be in the attack mode, and I'm sorry I didn't throw 95 miles an hour, so I'm going to give up some home runs, but you've just got to limit base runners. You can't walk guys, and, you'd like to say make them beat you to the big part of the field, but you can do that here.
Well, again, here's a perfect example. Smiley's walked two guys tonight to open the fourth, and they both scored.
There you go. I mean, that's it. That's what you cannot do here. That's the big thing, is the free pass, because you're going to give up a couple of singles you don't feel like you should have given up because you got to play the outfielders so deep and there's so much room to cover that balls drop in. That's why you see the difference in the average. It's not the thin air and the ball flying. It certainly will do that, but where you see the obscenely high averages is because of defensive placement in the outfield and jam shots and bloops falling in.
A 1-2 count on Forsythe. Two and two. Logan looking for his first hit tonight. Anderson missed some time earlier this year, had an oblique strain. So not only did he miss last year with that elbow stress fracture, but had missed time this year with the oblique strain. There's a swing and a miss. He strikes out Forsythe. 3-1 Colorado. The fifth inning in Denver, where the Rays trail the Rockies now 3-1. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, the Minnesota Twins have had a difficult year, 21 games out, and a move from their front office. Terry Ryan relieved of his duties as the executive VP and GM. Rob Anthony has been named as the interim GM in Minneapolis. Smiley back out there facing LeMahieu to open the bottom of the fifth. Want to know the count? Well, it was a challenging fourth inning for Smiley. 31 pitches. He started by walking the first two and struggled with his control. DJ LeMahieu pops it up. Forsythe makes the catch.
Do you want to hear something very eerie? So I'm doing my work on Drew Smiley before the game, and I write in my notes here, fourth inning blues. And for Drew Smiley in the fourth inning coming into this game, 17 innings, he'd given up 30 hits and 22 runs, 19 of them earned in the fourth inning, by far and away his worst inning, and it comes up again here tonight.
Yep. Well, you know, we've seen Archer with a difficult first inning. Odorizzi had struggled in the first two innings. And now you've uncovered Smiley in the fourth inning.
That's so random, too. It means nothing. It's just how it worked out tonight. But it is strange.
Well, it's worked out that way on other nights.
It has.
High fly ball to left. Geyer waits for this one to come down. Arenado is out number 2.
Well, it started with the back-to-back walks. The base hit to Reynolds. And then the fly ball, the sac fly by Nick Hundley, able to get that second run home. So that's what the Rockies were able to do, take advantage of the walks. Tough building to have a leadoff walk in, let alone 2 in a row.
Carlos Gonzalez doubled in a run his first time, is 1 for 2. Into center field, that ball will drop.
That's the one. That's the one we're talking about. That's not a base hit in any other ballpark. But here, you got Kiermaier, you got to play him kind of deep. You get a little jam shot, and he's able to drop it in front of him. And the average climbs.
2 out single, giving Gonzalez 2 for 3. You can see Kiermaier digging hard.
Yep, always does.
Trevor Story has been on twice with a base hit and a walk. He opened the fourth with the base on balls and scored the first of 2 runs in that inning for the Rockies. Want to know the count?
The right idea too, Carlos Gonzalez over there, and we've seen the Rockies swipe a couple of bags here against Drew Smiley, and with 2 outs, why wouldn't you try to get out into scoring position?
And another toss over there.
You have to do that. Yeah, we talk about pitching in, and you have to double up in. You do have to do the same thing with a move, because if you never do the second move, sometimes even the third move, you just go over there one time, then every base stealer goes, okay, well, now I know he's going to the plate. I'm going to steal now. So you've got to double up every now and then.
1-1 the count. First two men went down. Gonzalez has a base hit. 1-1 to count to Story. And again, a move over there. Upstairs. 2-1. The high fly ball hit deep to left. Geyer's going to go to the wall, and that one is gone. 2-1 pitch, and Trevor Story hits his 22nd home run of the year. With 2 outs in the 5th, the Rockies have scored twice, and it goes from a 2-run game to a 4-run game.
That's how quickly it can happen here. A bloop and then a blast. Hanging changeup, and boy, oh boy, Trevor Story all over it, and he knew it.
Now Ryan Rayburn he got the first 2. And now has been touched for 2 runs. 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Rayburn takes a big cut. Fastball out over the plate and up, and he took a big rip.
Boy, that swing got about as long as you'll see one get. Trying to drive that pitch, trying to do what Trevor Story just did.
Full count. Lifts it into center. Kiermaier waits for this one to come down to retire the side. Rockies scored 2. They lead 5-1. Rays opened the scoring of this game in the first when Evan Longoria tripled home Kevin Kiermaier following a walk to Kiermaier. First triple of the year for Evan. But in the bottom of the first, a double from Carlos Gonzalez scored for the Rockies to tie it. They came up with 2 in the fourth, an RBI single by Mark Reynolds, and a sacrifice fly from Nick Hundley. Hundley's fly ball scored Ryan Rayburn. And then in the fifth, with 2 outs, Gonzalez single and Trevor Story unloaded into left field, his 22nd home run of the year. That has made it a 5-1 game. Kevin Kiermaier will open the 6th inning. Cut and a miss against the left-hander Tyler Anderson. Anderson made only 72 pitches through the first 5 and gets the jump on Kiermaier. Little tapper, first base side, and the toss safe at first. Anderson turned around and tried the underhanded toss. Reynolds couldn't handle it. And so there's a base hit for Kevin Kiermaier.
Boy, that was trouble from the start. First of all, anything up the first base line is going to be tough for the pitcher that's left-handed, because you do have to have that spin where you got to throw an option pitch, and then you've got Kiermaier barreling up the line. And there's the flip right there. Underhand kind of got into the Kiermaier's running line. Right there, you see it, and the ball right off the arm. Looked like it actually hit Kiermaier before it got to Reynolds.
So Kiermaier picks up a base hit. It's only the 2nd hit for the Rays. Kiermaier on for the 3rd time. He's up in that 2nd spot for the first time this year and has been on 3 times now. Here's Evan Longoria. Shift is on for Evan, and the pitch is a strike.
Pretend I'm circling him. I'm circling DJ LeMahieu right now. He's right there.
Pitch down.
They took my telestrator away.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. I don't know what I did, but they just came up before the game and they said, "We're sorry, sir, but you don't get to play with this tonight." And they unhooked it and they ran off with it.
I had that happen one time, only it was a car.
That's not good. That's not good at all.
Over to first, and Kiermaier is back in. So no telestrator. Wow, how about that?
No telestrator.
Keeping an eye on Kiermaier. Two and one. So the Rays with the leadoff man on, trying to make a little noise and cut into this 5-1 deficit. Well, it's 2-2.
He will not stay away from the changeup here to Evan Longoria. And a leadoff runner aboard with speed, trying to protect the 4-run lead and going soft with Evan, trying to get him out in front and maybe roll over one of those pitches and see if they can't turn the double play.
Ground ball short. LeMahieu gets to second out there, but he will not make the throw. Story to LeMahieu, and that's such a strange angle for the second baseman and out of the shift there.
It is, but I'll tell you, Trevor Story, we've seen this twice now with infielders here with the Rockies. LeMahieu last time, boy, if he's able to not have that little hiccup right there, got a chance to turn that double play, but they weren't able to do it. But you're right. You know, you're so used to covering as a second baseman, you know, from your position, you know, the way that you're headed towards second base, and now with all these shifts and shades, you've got to work on all that stuff. Here's another one.
Story goes to LeMahieu over to first, and Geyer grounds into the 6-4-3 double play. 5-1 Rockies. Drew Smiley will call it a night after 5 innings, giving up 9 hits, 5 runs, made 100 pitches exactly, 60 for strikes.
Well, for Drew Smiley, the up and down inconsistency continues. There were times where Drew Smiley looked like the Drew Smiley we're used to seeing, picking up some strikeouts, and then there were some other times that Colorado was able to get to him. Leadoff walks hurt him, and that right there, 2 outs and nobody on. It's a 3-1 game. Bad enough that you're down, but then with 2 outs, all of a sudden you get the bloop by Gonzalez, the blast by Story, and they kind of move that lead out now to 4. Give way to Enny Romero on for the 33rd time.
See his numbers, 29 strikeouts in just under 29 innings, but 17 bases on balls.
And they tend to come in clumps. You know, Enny Romero, usually early on, you can tell what kind of outing he's going to have. He just sometimes can't find the plate. Other times he comes in and he's so dominant. We'll see.
Mark Reynolds 2 for 2. Has a run batted in. Way high. 1-1. This one right by him. Reynolds could not catch up to that one at 96.
Gonna have to maybe shorten down on that swing a little bit. Maybe asking a little too much for Mr. Reynolds. He only has 1 gear.
A little bit up, 2-2. You know, it can really, I would imagine, be an interesting trip up there in the batter's box facing Enny Romero. You know, one pitch, for an example, the pitch prior to that 96 past Reynolds was nowhere near the plate. So that takes the count to 1-1.
Right.
And the next pitch, you can't catch up to it. It's at 96.
And it's a strike.
Yes.
It's called effectively wild.
Pop up foul ball headed toward the stands. Morrison can't get there. The count holds at 2-2. Oh, look out.
man.
This pitch right over the top of Romero's head, and Forsythe with a great pickup out there at second base. A lot going on there. Reynolds low-bridged Romero with that shot back over the mound, and Forsythe made a heck of a play.
Yes, he did. I mean, oh boy, is that close. But nice job here by Forsythe, too, on again, spinning around and not just hurling that ball towards first base. Logan Morrison hadn't reached there, so he was able to recognize that, make the throw, and Enny Romero, he was none too thrilled with that line drive.
It's Hundley by the mound, this time right to Forsythe. Yeah, a little more routine there than that prior out. So 2 gone. Well, 2 outs, base is empty. And Tyler Anderson will come out for the 3rd time. Anderson 0 for 2 in this game. 1-0. There's a chop. Romero's going to have to cover, and a nice pickup by Morrison, and a nice job by Romero to get over there. Nothing easy about that play. We go to the 7th, 5-1. All on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. Rays opening this series in Colorado against the Rockies. Headed into the 7th inning, and Colorado leads it 5-1. First of a 3-game series, first of a 9-game trip for the Rays. They'll be headed into Oakland and into LA, the Dodger Stadium, to meet the Dodgers. Rays will be home against the Yankees. That'll be on the 29th, Friday night. And on that homestand, the Yankees, the Royals, and the Twins coming in. Tyler Anderson, by the way, the 26-year-old lefty, has made 80 pitches through the first 6 out there, about to start the 7th. He's 18 of 22 in first pitch strikes tonight.
Hello. There is a correlation. A lot of first pitch strikes. You're going to force the hitters to be more aggressive, to swing. They can't just afford to sit back and take strike after strike. So you get them into swing mode by throwing so many strikes. And if you get them into swing mode and you're making quality pitches, then guess what? You get quick outs, and that's exactly what Tyler Anderson has been able to do. moving the ball around the zone. The cutter's been good when we've seen it. He's been able to spot the fastball for the most part. See some change-ups coming along. Just 2 hits in the 6 innings. And how about this? Tyler Anderson coming in to this start had started here in Denver 4 times, and his ERA was 2.63 in those 4 starts at this field, and he's doing it again here tonight.
He faces Logan Morrison. The pitch is down. And that's the home road breakout.
It almost looks like he prefers it here. He would be the first.
1-1. He has 3 strikeouts, a couple walks, couple of hits, 1 run. He hit a man. Now goes 2-1 to Morrison. And he's held the Rays tonight with men on base, not men in scoring position, but men on base, 1 for 9.
You know, and the way that the Rays have swung the bats against left-handed pitchers.
They came in hitting 270 against lefties. And 11-11 against left-handed starters. Dylan Floro up in the bullpen. Full count. Morrison ran a full count in the 4th inning, and now again here in the 7th. Steven Souza Jr. on deck. And a walk. Leadoff pass drawn by Morrison. And we'll check in with Todd Callis. Todd?
Dwayne, way up here in center field in an area called the Rock Pile. This is the best bargain in baseball. All these people sitting behind me up here at the Rock Pile either paid $1 or $4 to get in and watch a Major League Baseball game. Here's how it works. 2 hours before the game, they open up the gates, first come, first serve. $4 for most people, 12 and under, 55 and over, $1. The Rock Pile, great view of the game, and you can't beat the price. Guys, back to you.
Swing and a miss. Big cut by Souza Jr.
Yeah, great view of the game and a great view of the planets lining up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Look at that.
Souza Jr. down in the count, 0-2.
You know, how about the fact that Tyler Anderson coming into this start had walked 6 guys. He's walked 3 tonight, all left-handed hitters. Just meaningless information is all that was. That was just to prove that I could still talk.
It's a ground ball back at third. Arenado gets rid of it quickly out at second and safe at first. Arenado, nice play deep behind third to cut down Morrison.
You know, we haven't even talked about this. Talked about Arenado's, you know, his offense and the number of runs that he's driven in since the beginning of last year. But he's won 3 straight Gold Gloves.
Yep, he's made 1 error this year in 269 chances, so it could be 4.
Such a great feel for the position, much like Evan Longoria. We've seen the different throws, you know, him going low with the sun in the eyes of Mark Reynolds over there at first base.
Beckham sends it into right center field. That ball will go to the wall. Souza Jr. is going to be waved around by Montoyo. And into third base with a triple goes Beckham. And the Rays get their second run the same way they got their first run. Souza Jr. this time at first scores all the way around on the triple by Beckham.
Well, you know, Charlie Blackmon and Carlos Gonzalez, you'd like to see them, if you're a Rockies fan, you'd like to see them try to cut that ball off. And they're just not able to do it. Tim Beckham able to get into this cutter. Stays out over the plate. He stays inside of it, goes out to right center. And you see Gonzalez, he took a flat angle. And by doing that, that ball's going to get to the wall, and that is going to cause, well, a run and a triple.
Third triple of the year for Beckham. That makes it 5-2. And the Rockies have a conference on the hill. Steve Foster out there. Well, they've broken it up. And Luke Maile, due to be the hitter. Action in the bullpen. Adam Ottavino throwing in the bullpen. And here's Maile. Maile is grounded out and has struck out. Well, the Rays here making a little noise in the seventh with an opportunity. One.
This is where, if you're Luke Maile, you want to drive that run in. You want to put that ball in play, and Anderson is going to do everything that he can to try to pick up a strikeout here. And that probably means staying soft or elevating the heater.
Well, here's the other thing. Their bullpen has an ERA of 5. And the Rays down by 3 now. This is a big hitter here if they somehow could pick up this run. And they do. Base hit. Beckham will score as Maile drives him in on a solid single through the hole. Now it's 5-3, and the Rays have cut the deficit to 2.
Yep, got the tying run to the plate, and that was just a mistake there by Anderson. He left one right out over the plate. Luke Maile, that was too easy. That pitch right there at the belt, just roped into left.
Well, the base hit makes it 5-3. Eddie Romero will be lifted, and Nick Franklin will pinch hit. That's foul right back into the screen. Pinch hitter. Nick Franklin, 298 for the year with a home run and 11 runs batted in. That ball hits sharply into left center field. Maile hitting third. Montoyo's going to wave him to the plate. There will be no throw. It's a double for Franklin, a pinch hit double. And the Rays get a man home from first again. And it's 5-4.
It goes right back to that outfield. And right now, that ball, first of all, you got to knock that thing down. You got to try to keep that ball. You go from what could have been, you know, a potential double play opportunity right here to a double and a run. I think you see those outfielders trying to track that thing down. You got to run a long way. So does Luke Maile.
Well, Charlie Montoyo's been busy waving these guys around. The Rays make it a 3-run inning, and that's going to be it for Tyler Anderson. Sports Sun brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com. By Kubota. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Pitching change. Tyler Anderson out of the game in favor of the 30-year-old right-hander Adam Ottavino. Logan Forsythe to be the hitter. The Rays have Nick Franklin, the runner, at second base. And a pitch, a ball. So 3 runs have scored as Ottavino comes on for the 5th time. 6 1/3 for Tyler Anderson.
That right elbow surgery came off the disabled list on July the 5th. That's why just appearing in 4 games, fastball, slider, occasional cutter.
2-0.
And a sweet number. Or is it?
There goes Franklin, headed to third, and he steals it. Franklin steals third base. The Rays aggressively get a man over to third on ball 3 to Forsythe.
Well, you take a couple of pitches, you look to see what Adam Ottavino, what he's doing with you out there. And you see Nick Franklin, well, he wasn't exactly the biggest moving lead, but he got a good jump, had to go a long way. Caught the Rockies by surprise, and he gets over to third here with just 1 out. Boy, that's a big, big, big steal.
Now Forsythe takes a strike. That infield comes up now with 1 out. Three and 2.
And now you're Logan Forsythe, you're thinking about that up the middle approach, 2-strike approach, put the ball in play. Got a good chance to drive the run home.
He shoots it foul behind Rocco Baldelli and up against the stands. Four runs charged to Anderson, responsible for Franklin at third. And Ottavino strikes out Forsythe.
I'll tell you, boy, after being down 3-0, Ottavino comes back pumping strikes, quality strikes. And it got to the point where all really Logan had to do was put the ball in play. He had a good chance to score the run after the Franklin steal, and he comes back to get the punch out on the breaking ball. That's a biggie.
Now Kevin Kiermaier. He's been on 3 times. And the pitch is a strike. Fastball. Upper part of the zone and away. Two walks and a single tonight for Kiermaier. One and one. A 3-run 7th, making it a 1-run game. That's on the inside corner.
I'll tell you what, this stuff is getting better and better as this inning goes along. Ottavino, that was a painted 95-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside corner. Toughening up here.
Ground ball right side. LeMahieu with a pickup and the throw in time. Ottavino gets 2 outs. Rays leave a man at third, get back into the game. 5-4. With the Rockies leading the Rays now, it's a 5-4 ball game. Rays putting up a 3 spot in the top half of this inning. Tomorrow, the young lefty Blake Snell goes to the hill for the Rays. Our coverage begins at 8 o'clock on Fox Sports Sun. Snell looking for his second win. He'll be opposed by Tyler Chatwood, and a day game on Wednesday will be Chris Archer against Jorge De La Rosa. The best honeymoon ever. 10 ballparks, 18 days.
That's pretty good.
How about that? Checking them off one at a time.
He's got to get that up there a little higher. We only saw the first couple. Going to Safeco next.
Dylan Floro, the new pitcher for the Rays, third of the night.
They're gonna be following the family up there. Our family. They're closing out their 30th.
It's a hot shot foul up the right side. 2 strikes the count to Blackman. Top of the order for the Rockies. Charlie Blackman, LeMahieu, then Arenado.
Good inning here for Floro. The Rays, a little excitement in that dugout now. They've clawed back just within 1. To throw up a 0 here quick, get that offense back out there. And
1 and 2. Forsythe with the pickup, and that takes care of Blackman. 1 away. Here's LeMahieu. This hit came in the first, a double when he scored a run. Floro pitched Saturday in the Baltimore series. There's a first pitch strike. The final 2 outs in the 8th and the first out in the 9th inning. He came in throwing strikes in that one. 1-1 to count. Action in the bullpen for Colorado. Jason Mott down there. 2-1 now to LeMahieu. Smiley worked 5, gave up 5 runs, all 9 hits, a 1-2-3 inning for Enny Romero. And Floro gets a strike on that pitch, just barely picking up the corner. Two and two. Full count. And there's ball 4. Third walk given up by Rays pitching. The 2 issued by Drew Smiley cost him 2 runs.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Jim Hickey talking about Dylan Floro and the hands and the separating from the glove. Maybe it's something a little bit off there. Separation coming late, and keep an eye on that, causing the erratic command there. Yeah, but you talk about the walks here, and then you start walking guys in front of Arenado and Gonzalez. That's when it can get tricky.
That's first pitch of ball to Arenado, and Mailey's going to head to the mound. So Arenado up here, he's 1 for 3. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live and in HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. A 1-0 count to Arenado. 1-1. Ground ball short. Beckham, Forsythe to Morrison. The Rays get the double play. We're through 7, headed into the 8th. Rays down by 1. One-run ball game through 7, 5-4. The Rays with a 3 spot in the 7th. Longoria and Beckham each with triples and a run batted in tonight. Trevor Story, a couple of hits, including a home run, his 22nd of the year for the Rockies. So we'll head into the 8th. Jason Mott, pitcher number 3, makes his 23rd appearance. And Evan Longoria will be the first man he faces. Brandon Barnes in the game in left field now defensively. And here's the first pitch to Evan, chop foul.
Well, Mott comes over as a free agent from the Cubs. One of the acquisitions this winter here by the Rockies. Working with the slimmest of margins right through the heart of the Rays order.
Pitch misses, 1-1. 2 big outs by Ottavino to get Forsythe and Kiermaier, leaving the potential tying run at third. Evan fouls it away, 1-2. Mott began the year on the disabled list with a shoulder issue. So he's just recently back. Corey Dickerson out on deck to pinch hit with the right-hander Mott on the mound. And the battle continues with Evan fouling that pitch away.
Jason Mott as far over on the first base side of the rubber as you can get. I mean, he may have a couple of toes attached. That's about it. Trying to create angles.
Pop up. Foul ball. Hundley's after it. I doubt he has a play. And just in the first row behind the dugout.
That'd be nice.
There you go. If 1AB's a trend, the Rays like it.
Maybe that's foreshadowing. Maybe that's not even the case, just wishful thinking.
Two. Now it's a full count. Longoria tripled, chasing home a run in the first. 1 for 3 tonight. 3-2. The pitch. Fly ball center field. Blackman's going to have to go back. Still going back, and that's going to be off that high wall. Longoria around second on his way to third. And another triple for Evan Longoria. He triples off that high wall in right center field. Well, that's the wall that they extended this year. That's it went from 8 feet 9 inches to 16 feet 6 inches. The old wall, that's a home run.
Yep.
But a triple tonight.
Well, that ball, Evan got into it pretty good. Got some carry. I'll tell you, these Rockies outfielders have struggled here tonight. And no chance to get that one. That was high up off that wall.
And Corey Dickerson will pinch hit against Jason Mott here. Kevin Cash wants the left-handed bat against the right-hander. And a ground ball foul, strike one. Well, the Rays had the potential tying run at third and left him there in the 7th. Now a leadoff triple in the 8th. 2 triples tonight for Evan Longoria. And he represents the potential tying run with nobody out.
you've no excuse here. This game has to be tied.
Pop foul. That's out of play.
Corey Dickerson aggressive, swinging at the first 2 pitches. Jason Mott now thinking about strikeout.
Well, his career numbers here, 355. Down 2 strikes. 2 of the best at third right there, Arenado and Longoria. And a cut and a foul tip strikeout. Big strikeout for Mott.
Sure was. That's what he needs. That's the only way that you're going to get out of this situation is to ring up some punch outs. And he gets Dickerson there on 3 pitches, 3 fastballs. And now he'll look to go after Logan Morrison. Logan Morrison has got to put this ball in play, somehow get that run home. Just overpowered right there.
Morrison 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Down and in for a ball. Morrison 1 for 4 in his career against Mott. Fouled off the front of the dugout. Well, after the strikeout of Dickerson, Morrison's left-handed bat, a very big at bat here. Behind him, Steven Souza Jr. Popped up, foul ball. That's headed near the stands and will be out of reach. Hundley going all the way over there toward that corner, and it was out of reach. 1-2.
Back to the same situation. 2 strikes. Mott looking for a strikeout. Logan Morrison put the ball in play. Becomes real simple here and who can execute.
Rockies running the shift on the infield. A 1-2 count. And he checks on the pitch high. 2-2. One-run ball game in the 8th. It's Morrison and Mott. Popped up again, foul ball left side. That will be out of play. Five pitches into this matchup. 2-2 the count. Two, strike 3, call. Morrison caught looking.
I think he was looking for something up and out over the plate. Tried to beat him up in the zone a couple of times, and then all of a sudden Jason Mott comes back down and he comes in and just freezes Logan Morrison. And he's picked up the 2 strikeouts that you couldn't let him pick up. Now he just gets Steven Souza Jr. out, and this golden opportunity goes to waste. Need a big 2-out hit here by number 20.
Well, Souza Jr. 0 for 3 reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th inning and scored one of the 3 runs the Rays pushed across. He shoots it foul up the right side. Strike 1. First time Souza Jr. has faced Mott. Longoria at third with his first career game, picking up 2 triples. And now Souza Jr.'s down 0-2. Upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, Mott really found himself in a tough spot giving up that leadoff triple. But he struck out Dickerson, he struck out Morrison, and he's ahead of Souza Jr. 1-2. And strike 3 called on the inside part of the plate. So Mott comes back to pick up 3 strikeouts. The Rays leave the potential tying run at third for the 2nd straight inning. Spot got the needed 3 strikeouts of the middle part of the order, Dickerson, Morrison, and Souza Jr. And so the Rays and the Rockies move into the bottom of the 8th.
Boy, an inning like that is infuriating. Really. You know, you look like you've got a gift for at least 1 run, leadoff triple. And that's the only ball that gets put in play for the inning. There's no excuse for that.
Gonzalez leading it off. You saw Dickerson now in left. 1-1 to count. Gonzalez, Story to follow. Story has had a good night. A ball, 2 strikes. Smiley worked 5, gave up all 5 runs. Kenny Romero an inning. Floro has an inning under his belt, ahead in the count. Now it's 2-2. Fly ball center field, well tagged. Kiermaier with room, and he's there to make the catch on the track. Gonzalez gave it a ride. That is out number one.
That ball just off the barrel towards the end of the bat. Still got really good carry, but Carlos Gonzalez catches that ball clean, and Kevin Kiermaier doesn't have a play. And he did get back there, and by the way, gave us a nice little hop there, well in front of the wall. Energy to burn.
Well, here's Story. Want to know the count? Two and nothing. Well, that pitch came in on Story, almost hit him, and the bat went flying. So it's 3-0.
It's almost like he started his swing and then realized it's coming in, yeah, and then just eject the bat. Watch him start to go and then say, dude, forget this.
Well, it's a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Well, that was a strike on Souza Jr.
Yeah, the plate's gotten wider here the last inning or so. Now 3-2.
He almost called that previous fastball like Enrico Palazzo. He just called it before it even got there.
So, a full count now. And a cut and a miss. So Story is out on strikes.
You get a fastball in off the plate for a called strike, yeah, then go ahead and go with a couple little sliders that are away, and Story just can't reach him. 2 outs now. That's a good pitch. Nice comeback by Dylan Floro. Right there, just off the edge.
Well, the pitcher Mott was in the 6th spot in the order. He's going to be lifted. So a pinch hitter with the bases empty and 2 gone. A little conference melee out there with Floro. Descalso is going to be the pinch hitter, Daniel Descalso. Chops it off the plate left side. Longoria gloves. Off balance throw. Got him. Out the call by Clint Fagan. And Descalso thought he was safe over there at first. And we'll see what the Rockies decide to do with that. They'll take a look at it.
Chopper right off the plate. Goes high, gives Descalso a chance. Boy, Evan, a nice throw back across his body, and that play is very, very close. See right there, where Descalso didn't do himself any favors counting his steps there as he got closer and closer to first base. A couple of short chop steps. He may have gotten there.
Another look.
Although it's got to be, clear and convincing. This one looks like he does get there, but you lose sight of the ball too.
The Rockies challenge it.
Boy, he went to the front edge of the bag, which was a good move.
Well, they've just about decided.
Let's see. Oh.
And Descalso's going to have himself a hit. The call overturned.
Well, now you think about him potentially stealing here. 2 outs. Got nothing to lose. Try to get a runner into scoring position. So keep your eyes peeled.
So on the chopper, Descalso is aboard. Mark Reynolds will be the hitter. And that's a base hit up the middle by Reynolds. Descalso's going to go to third. And it's first and third on the last 2 pitches.
I think that he was going to hang up at second. That ball got out to Kevin Kiermaier, and he was trying to make his mind up, but there was a little stumble there at the end by Kiermaier, and that allowed Descalso to make his mind. You see him right here start to slow up, and watch Kiermaier come right there. That little stumble, and Descalso then picked it back up and headed to third. Watch him kind of hesitate out there coming around second. Right there, he's thinking about maybe staying. No, might as well go.
Now first and third, 2 outs. Nick Hundley at the plate. Fouling it back for a strike. Hundley drove in a run with a fly ball to center back in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss. 0-2. A ball, 2 strikes. Left fielder Brandon Barnes is on deck. So Dylan Floro trying to get the final out in the 8th, keep the deficit at 1 and give the Rays one last opportunity. And now it's 2-2. Well, a couple of 2-out hits here in the 8th inning. Rockies have 7 2-out hits tonight. And this one gets away and bounces to the first base side, and here comes the run in to score. Descalso crosses the plate. Reynolds moves to second. Well, a strike away from getting out of this inning. And the run scores, and now the Rays are down 6-4.
Well, he got ahead 0-2. Kind of moving the ball around the zone. This one just gets yanked. You see the backhand attempt there, just hops over the glove, and Descalso scrambles home. I mean, you talk about 2 different innings. Rays with a leadoff triple, 3 straight strikeouts, and then what the Rockies have put together here with 2 outs.
And now Hundley is aboard.
2 outs and nobody on. That's the difference in the game.
Jim Hickey heads to the mound. Floro trying to get the final out and having a tough time. Brandon Barnes will be the hitter. So it's a 6-4 ball game now. Barnes fouls it back, strike one. Barnes hitting .231. He's been at Albuquerque, was recalled in the middle of June. Since that time, he's been up over .260. Foul back. With 2 outs, Descalso pinch hit and got what turned out to be an infield hit on the call being overturned. Reynolds singled into third. The wild pitch allowed him to score. Line drive and a base hit into left by Barnes, and it bounds away from Dickerson. Reynolds scores. Over to third goes Hundley, and into second base goes Barnes. So Barnes drives in the run, and suddenly it's a 3-run game. All of this with 2 outs.
There's a pitch. That breaking ball just stays middle. Barnes rips it into left. Corey Dickerson coming in to make a play, and that ball just kind of short hops, eats him up a little bit. Right there, right? I don't think he got a glove on it. I think it got beyond the glove and off the leg.
So it's 7-4. Well, Blackman. Error charge to Dickerson on the play. Blackman lifts the fly ball into left. Dickerson under this one makes the catch, and finally the 8th is over. But what a nightmare that turned out to be. 7-4 Rockies. Colorado leading the Rays, coming in for their final shot of the ninth. Well, nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. Brains to know, the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason on FS1's new daily sports talk show, Speak for Yourself. weeknights at 6 p.m. Eastern. Carlos Estevez, rookie right-hander.
Well, he is 5 out of 8 in saves, a 2-5 record, an ERA of 4.18, so he's not infallible. See if the Rays can get to him, but they're going to have to get to him in a big way as they've fallen behind now by 3.
Tim Beckham to lead off. Brad Miller's already moved into the on-deck circle with Maley due next. Rays cut the deficit to 1. Foul ball.
Triple digits, Dwayne. That was 100.
First pitch.
Right out of the gate. Speaking of which, did you see Chapman?
I heard
New
about
York
it.
tonight?
Yeah. How about that?
105.1, tying his own record that he set back in 2010.
This pitch up and in and moves him out of there. Well, that'll unnerve you after 100 on the first pitch.
That was some sort of off speed at 87. That ball just squirted right out of the hand. Yeah, trying to throw some sort of breaking ball.
Two and one.
You throw 100. You have a 3-run lead at the bottom of the order. How about throw 100?
There you are, 99. Hard to catch up. Foul back and out of play. Another fastball. Fourth pitcher of the night. Anderson worked 6 1/3. Foul back, 100 on that one. Well, the Rockies have looked for answers in that bullpen. A strong arm out there right now. 99 is fouled back, so Beckham continues to see the heat after a couple of breaking pitches. We're not close. And it's a 2-2 count. Take a look at that. Full count. Well, at this point, the Rays need base runners. Rockies scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th. High foul, that's out of play. Rays have 6 hits tonight. Half of them have been triples. 2 by Longoria, 1 by Beckham. Franklin had a pinch hit double. And a foul ball again.
Well, this is one of those situations where the meaningless breaking balls earlier in this at-bat hurt him now, because this is where you'd like to maybe, you foul off fastball after fastball after fastball, on and on and on and on and on. Get a breaking ball close.
The 11th pitch is ball 4. So there's a leadoff walk, and the Rays have one of those runners they need.
Well, that's what you meant when you're talking about searching coming out of the bullpen. You've got a 3-run lead. You're at the bottom of the order. You screw around early on, end up putting yourself in a hole, and walk the leadoff man. Gives the Rays a chance to get that tying run closer and closer to the batter's box.
So Brad Miller, who yesterday in that 5-2 win over Baltimore hit his 15th home run of the year, is the pinch hitter for Mahle. And taps it down to first. They go to second out there, back to first. Not in time there. Turns out to be a fielder's choice. Reynolds went down to second base for the force on Beckham.
This ball just gets topped. And now it's the hustle. Beat it out, Brad Miller. And he's able to do that.
Now Miller's at first with 1 out. Oswaldo Arcia will be the pinch hitter. And he misses the fastball. Arcia was part of the 4-home run day yesterday for the Rays. When he hit a 3-2 pitch out in the second inning of Dylan Bundy. Pops it up foul. Hundley's chasing it, but it's well out of play. 2 strikes. Carlos Estevez on the hill. He's ahead of Arcia 0-2.
They want it up.
And they strike him out. Fastball up. Arcia is out number 2.
You have absolutely zero chance on a heater that Estevez is featuring on a ball that's up above the strike zone. 97 on that one, took a little bit off.
Well, Logan Forsythe will now be the hitter. Logan 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts tonight. You don't often see that. Pitch is foul back. Strike 1. Miller was on his way to second, not holding him. Piece of that one foul, 0-2. So Forsythe down to his final strike. The Rays down to their final strike collectively. Ground ball. Grabbed by the pitcher Estevez, and a toss to first will end it. The Rays get a base runner in the 9th, leave him, and the Rockies have taken the first game of this series It's a 7-4 final. 7-12-0, 6 left for the Rockies. 4-6-1, 6 left for the Rays. Anderson will get the win. He's 2-3. Smiley will take the loss. Now 2-11 before 30,601 in Denver. 7-4 the final. So this 3-game series begins with a Colorado win. We'll be with you tomorrow at 8 o'clock on Fox Sports Sun with Game 2. For Brian Anderson, Todd Callis, this is Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Is not the outcome. Rays Live, the post game is next.